Hi friends! It has been a while since I've been able to make something new for this channel, so I am very excited. If you're new here, my name is Katie, I'm a seamstress, and I make stuff. Last year for Greenfield Village's Motor Muster, I was able to create an entire vintage look. I would have loved to do that again. It's coming up soon. Unfortunately, that's just not gonna happen. Between work and starting a new business and life, I have just been incredibly busy and I don't have time to take on a huge project like an entire outfit. Not right now anyway. I do want to have some new vintage look, but a whole outfit is a bit much. So I thought I would just pick something nice and easy, really simple to kind of ease back into the swing of things and sewing for myself. The plan is to use this pattern, which is Simplicity 8593, and some fabric that I already have in my stash. I bought this pattern during one of Joann's Simplicity sales. Around once every month or two, they mark down all of their Simplicity patterns to only $1.99. So when that happens, I kind of stock up on all the patterns I think I'm gonna need for the foreseeable future. It is a great way to save money, and that's how I got this one. And then the fabric that I think I'm going to use was an estate sale find from a few years ago. I only paid $2 for it. So this whole look should be only $4 to complete. This is a 1940s reproduction pattern, and in theory, it looks very simple to put together. So I'm really excited. Hopefully this will be a nice, easy project, but also cute and vintage. I'm really excited and feeling really good about starting a new project for myself, so let's get started. I'm gonna be doing the large. It's gonna be pushing it because these measurements are just a touch smaller than mine are, but Simplicity is known for using way too much ease, so I'm hoping that plays to my advantage here because I really do not have the time or inclination to resize anything. Here's my fabric. It is the super fun novelty print. I got it, I don't even know, maybe like 3 years now it's been sitting in my stash for $2 from an estate sale. Everything was $2 a piece. It was great. It's like a poly cotton blend, but it's still really soft and feels nice. At least it doesn't feel totally cotton. I can't say for sure. I haven't done a burn test, but it doesn't look like it either. And I think I have a yard. I am picking view B kind of arbitrarily. I haven't actually read the instructions yet, but that's the one that looks the easiest and quickest to make. And that's what I'm looking for here. Just something to make sewing a bit fun again. These are pieces I will need, so I'm going to go ahead and cut those out. I've got all my pattern pieces cut out here. It was really simple. They're mostly large pieces with mostly straight edges, so really great. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 pieces, not too many. I'm going to go ahead and do a quick read through of the instructions before I lay these out on the fabric, just so that I know exactly how everything's supposed to go together. I am kind of thinking some of these binding or tie pieces I may have to cut out of like a coordinating fabric, maybe a solid, just because I am short on fabric. So we'll see. We'll figure that out when we get there. Okay, I just want to say before moving on, reading through the instructions, this seems really straightforward, really quick to put together, which is exactly what I was hoping for. I'm not guaranteeing anything yet because I haven't actually put it together, but this seems like it could be a really great like beginner's pattern. I will actually be able to fit everything in this one yard. I just had to change it from being just one centerfold to like this way being folded in toward the center and that way being folded in toward the center. So no problem, just a little, I guess, creative. The only thing I wasn't able to fit completely was the bow. I wasn't able to get it totally on the bias, but I got it pretty close, so I'm happy with that. And then this is all that's left, so this is definitely a good stash buster. For the thread color, I'm using this kind of, well, hold on, let me see if it'll color correct. It looks a bit more pink in person. This is coming out pretty red. Come on, hello. It's like a dark, dusty pink, kind of. When I sew darts, I like to begin by pinning them along the stitching line. I think this ends up giving me a cleaner finish than if I stitch them perpendicular to the sewing line. Everybody has their own way, but that's mine. I have an industrial Pfaff sewing machine and I tend to do all of my sewing on that, but today I'm using my Singer home machine. For the neck facing, you're supposed to stitch under the edges a 1/4 inch, which I'm about to do, but I did also serge it just because I have a serger and it's quick and easy and I may as well. This is proof that it doesn't matter how long you've been sewing or how seemingly easy the project is, you can always do something not so smart. This literally said in the instructions, right sides together. I knew right sides together. Is that what I did? No. So I'm gonna go unpick this. Okay. Try number 2 on this bad boy. We'll see if I can actually do it right this time. I don't remember if the instructions called for this, but I'm back stitching a lot here since I will be cutting. So it may not be what I'm supposed to do, but it's what I am doing. Okay, that is pressed and understitched, and I actually did it right this time, so we can move on. Originally, I had forgotten to transfer my large dots, but I've gone ahead and done that. I pulled these gathering stitches down to match that, and now I'm just gonna grab this little loop here. Pull that through. And then tie a knot just so that the gathers don't slide around. I've got the neckband sewed on. I am going to make a couple changes here. The instructions say to just fold this piece under. Apparently my son has stuff to say about that too. I don't like that so much. I am going to go ahead and put the right sides together and sew this closed here before turning it. And also I haven't trimmed my seam yet, I still need to do that, but also on the inside they want you to slip stitch here. I'm not going to do that unless I'm going for like really historically accurate, which I'm not here. I really will not slip stitch anytime a pattern tells me to. I will instead make the end here, you can kind of see, just a touch longer than the front, and then stitch in the ditch here. It's practically invisible unless you're really, really close and looking for it, and to me it goes faster and doesn't hurt my hand as much as hand sewing, so that's just what I prefer to do. Okay, sorry the lighting is terrible. It is now nighttime. I am at the point in the instructions where I'm down to the bow and the ties and the narrow hem. Yeah. Those are all things that I would rather do on my industrial just because I really like the pressure it gives and having the 1/4 inch foot to follow along. It's not necessary to do it on a nicer machine than my home machine that I have, but for my sanity, I definitely prefer it, and I just don't like doing ties. I like to turn my ties as I sew them. That is also easier with a smaller foot. So that was a really long-winded way to say that I'm probably done for the night, because if you can't hear him, my son is eating dinner, and that means I have to stay up here at the table, which means I can't go downstairs. So, unless he goes to bed sometime soon, which I doubt. This is it for the evening. When sewing really narrow ties, I have a very hard time turning them, even if I use a tube turner. So what I've begun doing is finishing off a little bit of my tie and turning that, and then turning the rest of the tube as I sew it. So I just pull it through as I'm sewing, making very sure not to catch the part I've already finished as I'm sewing the new seam. It really works for me. It's much easier, in my opinion, than trying to fuss around with tube turning, and it gives basically the same finish. So I went ahead and finished the tie for the front of the blouse. It's not actually functional, it's just pretty, but I went ahead and did that. And then I was reading the instructions for the side ties, and it has you sewing them shut by hand, which I cannot think of anything I do not want to do more right now than sew 5 of these closed by hand. I really wanted this to be like a quick palette cleanser project, so that's definitely not something I'm interested in. I went ahead and did a little tester, and I like how this one turned out, so this is how I'm gonna do it, and I guess I will show you how I did this one and finish up the other ones. I'm just taking my little bias tape maker here and giving this a press. Then I ironed it up again to create bias tape, finished one side, right sides together, turned it, and did a line of top stitching through everything to hold it together. I went ahead and sewed those down, just making sure that kind of the opening ugly side was facing towards the hem, and now I'm just gonna follow the rest of the instructions and finish this up. Looks nice and simple from here. After sewing the hem, the finishing touches were just to sew the bow onto the front and to sew the hook and eye that holds the neck together. Relatively easy finishes, and then it was ready to be worn. Ta-da! Just a quick little wrap up here. I am obsessed with this pattern. It came together so quickly. It was very easy. The instructions were really easy to understand. I definitely think it was beginner friendly. I will totally recommend it to people, new or old to sewing. I love it. I will definitely be making it again because I think it's so fun and flattering and just a nice, simple breather project. I could not be more pleased. So if you're looking for an easy way to get into vintage or get into sewing, or you just kind of need a nice, easy project between everything else, 10 out of 10, I totally recommend this pattern. I really liked it. Simplicity patterns can be kind of hit or miss for as much as I use them. The instructions aren't always the greatest. This was a breeze. I loved it. Simplicity's sizing can also be off pretty often. For me, I did a size large. I have a 44-inch bust and it works. It's a little bit gapping on the side, but with the tank top, it's just fine. So if you need a reference, there you go. Like I said, I love this project. It was the perfect way to ease back into things. The sunglasses I was wearing in the reveal clips were a little hint at what my next project is going to be. I ordered them for my next project. I'm very excited to be starting on that soon, and I hope you'll enjoy that, and I hope you enjoyed this. Thanks. Bye, friends.